Welcome to the channel. A patch note with a new update has just appeared, and in it, HALLOW'S Wake Holiday Event, Hallowed Horns Cosmetic Set, returning events, and feature update with horrible news about further nerfs. So let's take a look at what we can expect from the upcoming Halloween update this time. The update to the new patch will be between October 10 and 11, depending on your location. First of all, a new HALLOW'S Wake Holiday event with quick lore behind it.
From October 18th, November 2nd, the boundary separating the living and dead grows paper-thin for a short while. Two realms fuse into one for HALLOW'S Wake, where dastardly demons and specters run amok. During this spectacle of spirits, players level 30 and above will be tasked with eliminating ghastly goblins, vengeful dead, and cleansing haunted rifts in exchange for hallowed stones. Once you've stockpiled enough, they can be traded for spooky rewards. 10 hallowed stones, the fist bump animated emoji, and a random legendary item. 20 hallowed stones, the frightening rod cosmetic and a telluric pearl. 30 hallowed stones, a random costume chest, a legendary crest, and a random legendary item. Costume chests can contain one of 3 costumes that will reimagine you as one of the living dead. Each player can only acquire one costume chest through playing HALLOW'S Wake. Here's what they look like. For Grave Robber, Royal Guard, and Skeletal Mage. All rewards from HALLOW'S Wake will be unusable 14 days after you initially acquire them, but will remain in your inventory and can be used again in the future. The fist bump emoji can be used year-round but will revert to a non-animated emoji after its duration and can be used in chat.
Next is Hallowed Horns Cosmetic Set, which is quite cool looking cosmetic in my opinion.
Add to the HALLOW'S Wake horror with your own scare-inducing styling. Embrace tradition and envelop yourself in monstrous garb to ward off the risen undead and summon spirits. The Hallowed Horns Cosmetic Set is available in both a standard and ornamented edition. In total, there are 3 bundles available in the shop from October 18th, November 1st and can be acquired with Eternal Orbs. This is how standard bundle looks like for Blood Knight. But you can purchase deluxe bundle for 4,500 orbs for all classes. Ornamented Hallowed Horns Cross-Glass Cosmetic. Ornamented Hallowed Horns Cross-Glass Portal. A cross-glass version of the Hallowed Horns Cosmetic. A cross-glass version of the Hallowed Horns Portal, minus 3 additional gifts. Terrified animated emoji. Hallowed Horns Banner Hell Knight Costume. Once acquired, the Hell Knight costume can only be used for the next 60 days but will remain in your inventory after the event ends and can be used again in the future. The Terrified animated emoji will revert to a non-animated emoji 60 days after you acquire it and can still be used in chat.
On top of that, we have returning events. Trial of the Hordes, all clans on deck, Hungering Moon, and Wild Brawl, full schedule and patch note. And last but not least, feature updates.
Paragon trees. Players can now quickly fill out nodes on their Paragon trees using a new quick add function. We hope this feature update leads to less time spent on this menu and will make resetting your Paragon points a breeze. Inventory, low-level fabled wisps can now be destroyed. We believe this change will provide players with increased inventory management options. Also, a new cosmetics tab has been added to the inventory. The HALLOW'S Wake costumes and fishing rod and other items that temporarily alter the appearance of your character will be stored here.
So these are quality of life improvements. It's good that we will finally be able to change Paragon points faster and destroy some trashes from inventory.
In challenge rifts, monsters will no longer return to their starting point after moving to far away.
we will get a change in challenge rifts. Now we are able to do trains.
Shadow War. We have made a couple of updates to Shadow War. A barrier has been added to the spawn's entrance to prevent players from being killed there. The time to prepare for a match has increased from 5 to 10 minutes. Matches now begin at 7:40 server time. Sacred Guardian movement speed has been increased. Shadow War rewards are now sent to the player via in-game mail. Combat rating for items have been revamped. Items with more attributes will have a higher combat rating. Item combat rating will not increase in Paragon levels 880 to 900, 980 to 1000, and 1080 to 1100, because the combat rating of items has increased. The difficulty of the Hallowed Gauntlet in Inferno 3 has increased.
So now the item's combat rating will be more relevant to secondary stats.
A new replay dungeon feature has been added for parties of any size. Once your party has reached the end of a dungeon, the player who taps the exit portal will have the option to invite their party to run the dungeon again. If the whole party accepts, they will be teleported to the beginning. This feature is not available for players who are grouped together using Random Dungeon Finder.
And this is one of the changes I recently discussed in this video. It's good that the developers decided to introduce it. However, there is more stuff about improving dungeons.
Class balance. We've adjusted multiple classes to bring increased balance to PvP activities and allow more class builds to flourish in a fight. With the newly added additional 30% damage reduction, the Blood Knight, Necromancer, and Wizzard have been overperforming in terms of survivability.
And here I have a slightly different opinion, but let's take a look at the changes.
Blood Knight. Solemn snare shoulders. Swarm of bats now shrouds you in a fog of blood mist, increasing your movement speed and making you untargetable, while also dealing damage to nearby enemies. Duration decreased from 2 seconds to 1.6 seconds.
And in the case of Blood Knight, I think it's a good nerf because it's not his only skill of this type.
Necromancer. Borrowed time. Cooldown increased from 30 to 35 seconds.
And here I just want to say that new changes never stop to surprise me. I don't know what sense there is in nerfing a skill that is already unprofitable to use. I have the impression that the developers do not fully realize what the problem with the Necromancer is, and soon I will release my video with an in-depth analysis.
Wizzard. Nor the Hail Nurse chest. Ice armor now also reduces damage you take. Damage reduction decreased from 20% to 15%. Older Crystal Offhand. Arcane Wine now also freezes chilled enemies for 2.4 seconds. Cannot occur more often than once every 3 seconds. Cannot occur to players every 5 seconds. This remains at 3 seconds for monsters.
And here I think that Wizzard has huge possibilities, just crowd control-wise. Interestingly, they are much more effective than those from the Necromancer, but I'm also working on it, so you can expect new videos soon. But that's all for today, and as always, thanks for watching.